Hello, my name's Craig and I'm here on the shores of the Cowichan River, and I want to show you today how to remove small knotweed plants. Knotweed's an invasive plant that thrives on bodies of water like rivers and lakes, and it can grow to the extent that it impedes other native plants and possibly even fish and whatnot. In this area we have a bunch of willows that have grown up along the shoreline, and they serve as a filter. When knotweed plants and roots are washed from upstream, they come in here and the willow catches them. Okay, here's an example of one knotweed plant that has very likely arrived as a result of being washed from upstream to this location and taking root. And now we're going to go take a look at how to remove a small plant. Okay, here we are. This is a little plant that's easy to get at, so we will attack that one. Here are the tools, a couple of trowels. This one's nice for loosening dirt way deep, and this one's good for scooping things out of the way. I do wear gloves usually, but only the thin kind, because a lot of the work is done with your fingers. In fact, the whole point of it is to follow the root with your fingers to make sure that you're not missing a piece. So first off, just loosen up the soil or sand or whatever around the plant and start digging away to find out what's the story. The whole point is to be gentle so you're not breaking root fragments off and leaving them behind. Okay, looks like a knotweed root from the thing, so just follow it with your fingers. Is this part of it? Yes, it is. So it turns out this one is part of a root fragment. This is the old root fragment. But you can also find this something looking like that just has no root. It just seems to have arisen from seed. So the whole point now is to dig down as deep as possible. Okay. Anything you pick up that's knotweed, you carefully dispose of it. Often we'll hold the plant up like this and dig around it, so I know there's a root down there and I can follow it. So this has come from a root fragment. It's put down sort of a taproot type thing. Oh, there's two of them it looks like. So you treat them separately. Of course, at some point it gets that the sand is coming in as fast as trying to remove it. But basically, you dig down as far as you can. Hopefully you'll find the end of the root. Okay, I think that's got it. So that's the end of the root there. Often you'll find debris and whatnot, because in the wintertime this is all underwater. Okay, I think I've dug about as far as I can on this one. Maybe I can get the very tip of the root. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So there's the end result. These are the old pieces of root fragment. Here's the root fragment itself. There's the new roots it put down, and that prevents a knotweed clump from growing. It's really important to dispose of this stuff properly. It should go in a 6mm plastic garbage bag and be put a label of invasive plants on it, and take it to the proper facility In the Duncan area, it's at the Bings Creek recycling and garbage drop-off. So, goodbye knotweed. Okay, here we have a large stand of knotweed. Some of the features of knotweed, so you are familiar with it: big leaves, pointed on the end. The stems tend to fall over as they grow, and they can grow up to 12 to 15 feet tall. And the stems are hollow. This is an example of a dead stem from the winter. You can see it's hollow, and inside the stand of knotweed, there's very little growing except knotweed. There's a few trailing blackberries here, but otherwise everything else has been obliterated from lack of light, debris falling on top of it, and you know, the knotweed plant takes all the water too. So unfortunately at this point there's no way to remove this type of knotweed near the river. You can't use herbicides near the river because of the damage to other living things, and it's basically forbidden to try and dig this out, because every part of the plant can potentially generate a new plant, even the leaves, but mostly the roots. And the roots, even a piece a ½ inch diameter, maybe 3/4 of an inch long, that can generate a plant that would end up being like this. It might take 20 years, but it would happen. So that's why it's important that we try and stop the knotweed from expanding by taking out the small single stem plants. Okay, this is another example of a big knotweed clump, and I wanted to show it because of it really demonstrates the flowers well, and it shows how tall they can grow, because the top of my hand is 8 feet tall, and those those stems are much longer than that. So just another shot of the enemy. Okay, we're in a different part of the river now, and upstream there you can see the edge of that sort of island area is gravel. And before last winter, when the atmospheric river came, that was trees, grass, and knotweed clumps. And when the atmospheric river came, it washed it all downstream, including all those knotweed roots. Off to the side here we have a side channel, and during the winter that's full of water, usually, and I've seen salmon spawning there. And the big danger of knotweed here is that if it continues into the side channel and then fills it up, that won't be a good spawning area anymore. It may impede the fish from getting up there, all kinds of problems. So, to wrap up, if you would like to prevent this from becoming that, please go along your shorelines and remove these tiny knotweed plants. Thank you. So I've discovered a root down there that has some new knotweed growth, and so we're going to go find it and we're going to remove it. Okay, here's the little knotweed plant that is growing out of a root. There's a couple of stems coming up. Here's the root itself. I'm pretty sure it's a fragment of root that's washed downstream. I don't think it's part of this bigger clump, because otherwise the stem would be this size. So we'll investigate and remove it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this has got a bit of a, it started to develop side roots. So and loosening the, and I think we got it all now. Oh, yeah, I think that's, well, that might be reed canary grass. At any rate, we'll take it with us. So I'm not feeling any other, that might be one, but not knotweed. Yeah, so there we have the plant. This is, I believe, a root, knotweed root here. Possibly a rhizome at the end, but it doesn't look like that usually. No, more reed canary grass. So basically there you have it. And left alone, this would grow very quickly because it's got a good root to start with. And part of the process is to come back here again, come back next week, come back next year, and make sure that we didn't leave any root fragments behind that are going to regenerate new plants. Okay, this is another little single stem plant, ripe for removal. Not sure what the status of how it arrived here in the first place, but we may find out. It's grassroots. Should attach to that. I don't know, it's a bit of a strange one. It looks like this may be a big piece of root that you can't see the edge of. It's washed away because there's just this little plant. Doesn't seem to have any other root structures with it. Yeah, so that was pretty quick. And another one for the disposal bag.